Friday, April 5th on the Just Baseball Show. You got Jack McMullen and I am Peter Apple, and we have a loaded show. We're going to end with an interview with Cubs left-handed pitcher Justin Steele. But before that, a couple of quick topics. We got to talk about how Eury Perez, 20-year-old young phenom for the Miami Marlins, just went down with Tommy John surgery. More bad news. The Oakland A's are leaving Oakland after this season to find a home in Sacromento, California, before then moving to Las Vegas. More fun, not bad news. Top 5 hottest hitters since we started this opening series, and then the interview with Justin Steele. And it's all brought to you by the king of sportsbooks, and that is BetMGM. Remember, folks, download the BetMGM app on iOS or Android. Use code JustBaseball when you deposit. Why? Do you want $1,500 or not? It's a first bet offer up to $1,500 on BetMGM, and I will not say this again, even though I'm going to keep saying it. Don't leave free money on the table. Go get it. But remember, gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older. Terms and conditions apply. Jack, you're in the ballpark right now. Bad weather in Indy. How are you? You okay?
I'm good. Game was postponed yesterday. It was going to be kind of like kick into chaos mode if we didn't get this one in tonight, but it looks like we'll get this one in tonight. It's just cold and cloudy. But you know what? This is the time of year, this in October, where you play in 35-degree weather, and you got to be okay with it. And shit, my window closes in the broadcast booth, so I'm okay. Can I just say, Justin Steele is the man?
The
man.
Man.
Oh, my God.
He's the man. So if you remember, he's a reoccurring guest. So we had him on in September of 2022. And we've been talking, and we got him on today. He's my favorite personality, I think, in Major League Baseball. I mean, I'm obsessed with this guy. He's funny. He's smart. He's gritty. He's competitive. Cubs fans, you just have an absolute gem as a person, and then he just happens to be one of the best left-handed pitchers in all of baseball. Before we get into all the topics, Jack, this is your first time recording in the stadium.
No, it's not.
With me.
With you, sure.
Okay, how about this? It's your first time showing the YouTube crowd the look from your seat. Haven't done that yet, have you?
No, I haven't done that yet. I gotta pull up the curtain here in the I'm sitting in the visiting radio booth, not the home radio booth.
And while Jack is doing this, make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. How about it? Look at that pull. Look at that promo I just gave. Look at that. Give us a smile for the camera.
This is what we got going on right here. We're recording from downtown Indy at the ballpark. So that's the exciting stuff for you. But we got to talk terrible news with Eury Perez.
I was going to transition from your ballpark to Oakland, but we could talk about Eury first.
Oh, actually, you know what? That's a better transition.
Right?
That's a better transition. You do that.
Yeah, let's go. All right. So from Jack's ballpark to a different ballpark, now the transition's ruined, right? Oakland A's. The fucking Oakland A's. John Fisher. They're moving. And I just feel so bad for A's fans. Growing up, I went to A's games with my dad. We watched Alex Rodriguez face Jason Giambi, and then Jason Giambi came over. We would always go to A's fans. A lot of steroids back in the day. That's for another time. But those were some of the most fun games. And people make fun of A's fans all the time for not going to the ballpark.
No.
Think about it.
No. You should never make fun of A's fans. A's fans are some of the best fans in all of baseball. You should make fun of the organization that is disincentivizing going to the games. And so much fuss is being made about the attendance figures, and understandably so. Like the Louisville Bats, Indy was in Louisville. The Louisville Bats 3x'd the second home game for the Oakland A's. The second home game for the Oakland A's drew 3,800 people. That's embarrassing. But what's not told are the organized protest adjacent things that are happening outside the ballpark from so many A's fans.
They should.
There are a lot of people that are there that care about Oakland A's baseball that just hate the ownership.
The
And
worst ownership in sports. I mean, think about it. Who name a worse owner besides maybe the Marlins?
No, I mean, like, aside from people that got into like legitimate legal trouble and
yeah, it's a good point.
the NBA stuff, like
Carolina Panthers guy throw drinks on his
Carolina Panthers. I even went to like the shit with Donald Sterling and the Clippers. Like that's right. No, but like different beast in terms of just being a bad owner and not caring about your fan base. John Fisher is absolutely up there, and we're learning more and more every day.
Did you see the story by Trevor May? Where he talked about how there was a parting gift when they found out that they were going to Las Vegas. The ownership group gave every player a pair of cowboy boots. And Trevor May made a funny joke. He was like, well, they weren't even in my size, but that's not the point. First of all, they got him the wrong size. It's the most Oakland A's thing I've ever said.
Yeah.
The people who own those cowboy boots, it's a Gap company. John Fisher is, I think, the CEO of Gap. So as a parting gift, they got the Oakland A's players
Gap boots
that aren't expensive, and they gave Trevor May the wrong size. That's the Oakland A's ownership that we're dealing with. And now they're going to go over to Sacramento, and then Las Vegas. And this whole point, like we're dropping the news now, but it's really just about the A's fans and how your ownership group tore your team away from you. And it's the worst thing. It's just the worst. And I love Oakland Coliseum. I know it's a dump, but it was fun. And those A's fans always, I was a little kid. I remember catching a ball from Freddie Garcia as he threw a ball in the stands. Like I caught it and it like bounced around and some person picked it up and then gave it to me. And it was an Oakland A's fan, even though I was wearing a Yankees jersey. Like they were the best. And I went there so many times and like that, the story just hit me. And I hate John Fisher. Like I just hate this ownership so much.
So there was a press conference at Sutter Health Field in Sacramento, which is going to be the temporary home of the Oakland A's through 2027. So it'll be 25, 26, 27. And there's an option for the A's, if they're not ready to move to Vegas, to be there in 28 too. And the Sacramento River Cats, the AAA for the Giants, moving into your, nemesis AAA ballpark. That's a choice too, but it makes sense geographically, whatever. That's not going to affect the River Cats. Like they'll be home for a week and then Oakland will be home for a week. And that schedule trying to align with Major League Baseball is just a weird one. And I don't envy that whatsoever. But John Fisher in, kind of like media availability at Sutter Health Field in Sacramento, he issued a statement, all that. And then he didn't take questions. The Oakland A's for like a month now have had replies turned off on their tweets. They're not hearing the boos anymore. And you know what? Like credit to Oakland A's fans because they're making the boos heard. And I'm sure you saw the screenshots of Eury Ruiz and Brent Rooker wearing the Last Dive Bar bracelets. The Last Dive Bar is some of the best baseball fans that we've got in Major League Baseball. They just happen to be Oakland A's fans that are anti-Oakland A's ownership group. And I don't think there's any validity to Eury being reprimanded for wearing a Last Dive Bar bracelet. I don't believe in that conspiracy.
Why not? Why wouldn't we believe anything? I mean, John Fisher is the worst.
Here's why. Very like
okay. I agree. It feels
very lawsuit. It feels very like you did that to me. You're depriving me of money. I'm going to sue your ass.
Okay, well, let's talk about the fact that someone found a screenshot or someone found a piece of paper that talks about how the Oakland A's sell to their fans. So customer service, right? There's a product here. And I quote, if you see anything that says rooted in Oakland, it must be taken down immediately. Try not to highlight the product that focuses on the name Oakland. This is a screenshot from RFWILL149 on Twitter. This is, I'm looking at a piece of paper that literally says, don't say anything about Oakland when they are the Oakland A's because they're moving. Like this team is not operating under logic that both you and I understand. So yeah, it's a conspiracy, but why shouldn't I believe it? They suck. They're the worst. Are we going to be surprised when the worst people do the worst things? I'm not saying I do believe it, but I'm not saying I don't either.
I'd be surprised if they did something that like they could actually get sued for by a player.
I of why would you think that they wouldn't do that? They're idiots. They have no idea what they're
I don't
doing.
know, because I guess I expect a
Why?
level of business decency, but they haven't supplied it. I'm
Ever.
just not ready to buy into that conspiracy. I'm out on the baseball conspiracy theorists. As of right now, I'm
I
out
think
on
I'm
them.
in on them. I think I'm in on them.
I know. Well,
They
you've
have
been in
Peter
on it for
vision.
a long time. You fail to admit it, but you've been in on the baseball conspiracies for a really long time,
I
and I've
do enjoy
noticed,
them.
and I've been keeping notes.
I do enjoy them.
Yeah, you love them, and I don't. And I'm willing to eat crow if it is true. But yeah, man, I like the last thing that I want to say on this whole ballpark thing is obviously sucks for who I think some of the best fans in baseball are. Sacramento's a lovely AAA ballpark. It's very nice. AAA ballparks are not major league ballparks. And I just showed you Victory Field. I think this is the nicest ballpark in AAA baseball. And Charlotte would tell you that they have the nicest. Durham's got a damn nice one. Nashville's got a damn nice one. Hell, Sacramento is amazing. Victory Field is amazing. It was great to see the Savannah Bananas come to Indianapolis and fill this place up. It looked awesome. July 4th, all the other sellouts that we'll have. It's great. This place, like, it's not a major league ballpark. It's the best non-major league ballpark in the world, I think, aside from like the Tokyo Dome. But it's not the home of a major league baseball team. Obviously, they could add a third deck, like they have the infrastructure to do it if there was one. But like Sacramento doesn't have a third deck. This is what I just told Arm on the call up. The biggest thing that I talk to guys about when they make their big league debut is the third deck. Is there are people sitting in the 200s. There are people sitting in the 300 levels. There's no 300 level in Sacramento. So I get it. And I get that the attendance numbers would actually look better in Sacramento than they would in Oakland, because that ballpark's way too big for a team that doesn't give a shit. But man, like, it's just a terrible look. Toronto and Buffalo during an unforeseen pandemic is one thing. 3 years in a AAA ballpark for a Major League Baseball team, that's a whole different thing.
I got to go to Oakland. I want to be a part of the protests.
Yeah, go to Oakland, man.
Homework assignment for all Just Baseball Show listeners. Go to YouTube after you're watching the show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. After you're done with our video, go watch Grant Balfour entrance at the Coliseum. It's so sick. A's fans are so fired up, and he's so fired up. It looks like he had like 16 Red Bulls before he even entered the field.
Probably did. A lot of bullpen guys have insane caffeine addiction.
Insane. Go watch that and tell me that Oakland A's baseball, when they're good, when the ownership actually cares about the team, when they're playing just not the worst baseball in the world, just not the worst, A's fans show up. Shout out all the A's fans. You don't deserve this. And if you want to join a new team, the Yankees would love to have you. Just saying. All right, let's get to worst news. Eury Perez, phenom, 20 years old, down with Tommy John. And Aram said this. He says that the Marlins were not giving enough information, that he had a bad feeling about it. And here's that bad feeling. Thankfully, you know what I thought was funny? He's going to accrue service time, because he's on the major league injured list. So at least, he's accruing service time. Good for him. That's another bad organization, but it just sucks because, and I'm really sick of, like, obviously I have the under 78.5 wins on the Marlins, but I'm getting tagged so many times in the Eury thing. I don't want that. That was not what I wanted. I wanted Eury Perez to pitch this year. I love Eury Perez. He's so good. And the fact that he's gone down, it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. We lost one of the best young pitchers in Major League Baseball for a year plus.
He's got best pitcher in baseball type shit. Mm-hmm. And I think everybody realized that last year, and they shut him down. They managed his innings, and I'm not going to fault the Marlins for managing his innings. Like, what are you going to do? Run that guy out there at, 20 years old and have him throw 125 innings? No, like, that would have run him into the ground. There is not a direct correlation to really anything. Like, we're still trying to find the secret sauce. And I think I've mentioned it on the show. I'm pestering Aram to read The Arm by Jeff Passan. He wrote it when he was at Yahoo. I think it was 2016. Maybe that book came out. I just reread it, and Man, like it feels like we've come so far, yet we haven't moved at all in regards to UCL health for
We're
pitchers.
getting worse. It's getting worse, not better.
We're
even
getting
the
worse.
same.
And the thing is, there's no rhyme or reason that, or there's no
There's
direct
definitely a
thing.
rhyme or reason. There has
Yeah.
to be. I mean, guys, they're coming up when they're
Okay, so
11, 10 years old, and they're taught, all right, if you don't throw 95 right now, you're not going to make the major leagues. So everybody joins these throwing programs in order to throw as hard as you possibly can, and then your arm blows out multiple times across your career in hopes to make the major leagues. Like, it starts at a young age.
Yeah, I misspoke on rhyme or reason. You can't point to a certain thing that does it. Is it fastball velocity? Is it breaking balls?
I see what you're saying.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't point to one thing where it's like, oh, it's innings pitched that is doing this to people. Oh, it starts. Oh, it's too quick of a ramp up that's doing this. You cannot point to anything. You can't point to pitch clock. I think that the easiest thing that people are pointing to is how hard guys are throwing. And is it human anatomy to throw 102? No, it's not. Is it human anatomy to throw 94? Probably not. Like, my thing is, these guys train to become world class at what they do, and they understand the risk that comes with that. So you say, yeah, guys are throwing so freaking hard, and that's why they're blowing out left and right. Guess what? They get to the big leagues because they're throwing so freaking hard. They're making $750,000 a year because they throw so freaking hard. So it is the blessing and the curse. Welcome to the double-edged sword of pitching.
No, but that's what I'm saying, though. Like, to get to the major leagues, at least
you need to do what may hurt you.
Exactly, because they're all in Rapsodo, and they're all looking at these pitch modeling things, and they're like, all right, well, this guy's fastball is this guy's fastball is this guy has more ride, and in order to get more ride, you have to spin the baseball more, and it's going to hurt your elbow a little bit more. So to get even to that point where somebody's going to notice you have to have crazy stuff or unbelievable numbers, and to get that crazy stuff, you got to go through arm programs that are going to kill you.
So not kill
you. Yeah, that's I went too far.
I'm going to compare pitchers to Formula One drivers here.
Okay. This is going to be interesting.
If you were a Drive to Survive COVID dork like I was,
you remember all that. Is that your favorite? Like, you didn't mind COVID because of that.
Yeah, that and Tiger King. Season one of Drive to Survive might be like the best season of a documentary I've ever seen. It was so good, and like
better than The Last Dance. You're a Chicago guy, and
I think it was better than The Last Dance, season one of Drive to Survive. Yeah, like amazing. But if you watched it, you remember all these F1 drivers saying you're pushing your body in the car to the absolute limit, and you have to be like not afraid to die. Less drastic than being afraid to die. You have to not be afraid to push your arm to the absolute limit at a point that it might blow out. And these guys all assume that risk. I mean, we've had very candid conversations with Walker Buehler, a guy that's blown out twice. But guess what? Making a lot of money. He's hoping to make a lot of money, in the near future in free agency. And like, he's someone that like, there are a lot of 10-year-old kids that have Walker Buehler jerseys out there. There are a lot of 20-year-old dudes that have Walker Buehler jerseys out there. Like, it comes with a price, and I'm not saying that you should be okay blowing out because it sucks and I hate it. Like, all my favorite arms to watch have blown out at some point or another. Like, Sale worked his way back from Tommy John. Buehler working his way back from his second. McClanahan working his way back. Eury Perez going to start. Sandy Alcantara.
I love Sandy.
How about even in the minor leagues, man? Andrew Painter working his way back. Like, it stinks that we are deprived of this, and now you got Garrett Cole dealing with some elbow stuff, and he hasn't blown out. But like, at the end of the day, what they do to sell jerseys, what they do to make millions of dollars, is also what hurts them. And it sucks, but welcome to the reality of the game.
Yeah, I don't like this reality.
It sucks. It's not a good reality, but it's reality.
I don't want it.
Okay, go live in your fantasy land, man.
All right, I'm going to live in my fantasy land.
I think the fantasy land was actually 1970-something when everybody threw 280 innings and they didn't get hurt.
Bring me back to the Tim O'Keefe days where he's throwing 400 innings at a 0.91 throwing underhand with a mustache. Sure. He's my profile picture on Venmo. I love Tim O'Keefe. All right, let's get into some actual fun topics. You want to talk about some of the best players in baseball right now? That's what I want to do. All right? And it's all brought to us by Outlier. So this is a new segment that we are going to do every Friday. We're going to highlight some of the best players in the week. A lot of guys who have been hitting their over total base props, but in general, Outlier gives us all this data that we compile and we get our 5 hottest hitters since opening day. So Outlier, there's a 7-day free trial on our link tree. It's a sports betting decision assistant for aspiring intermediate and advanced sports bettors who understand that data is the foundation of a profitable sports betting strategy. Outlier pairs hyper, contextual, and relevant sports data with available betting markets. Unlike traditional sports data sites like ESPN, Baseball Reference, Fangraphs, Outlier organizes and visualizes data for easy comprehension, efficient decision-making, and immediate execution. That's why I love it. Make sure to check out the first of its kind strike zone heat maps and pitch arsenal roundups. This is something new that I love. Allows you to quickly visualize pitcher and batter matchups all in one screen. It's available on iOS, desktop, mobile browsers. Get your 7-day free trial at outlier.bets/just baseball. You can find it in the episode description. So before we get into the 5 hottest hitters, they also have a ton of betting trends that I think are hilarious. Luis Arias has failed to exceed half an RBI in 13 straight games dating back to last season. Did you know that?
No, that's pretty funny.
Kind of funny. Martin Maldonado has failed to exceed half a hit in 8 straight games. He doesn't have a hit. Kind of funny. Joey Meneses has exceeded half a strikeout in 6 straight games at home. So if Joey Meneses is at home, bet him to strike out. DJ Stewart. Let me check the score because we're recording at the tail end of the Mets game. This is
Casey Mize was really good until he wasn't.
6 straight. Oh, the Tigers actually beat. Did the Mets blow it in extra innings again?
Wow, big no decision for Casey Mize. That's
no
huge.
Mets. Oh no Mets. All right, but that's not it. Let me hurt you guys more. So DJ Stewart. Yep. All right. So the stat still holds that it gets even worse for Mets fans. DJ Stewart has failed to exceed half a base in 6 straight games at home. So he hasn't got a hit at home in 7 straight games now. Do you have any takeaways on that?
No, I've got nothing.
I can't believe the Mets blew it. Oh, no.
That's a toughie. I loved watching the first 3 1/3, 3 2/3 of Casey Mize, and then after that, it kind of became a tightrope act, and that was like, I don't know.
Yeah. What was your takeaway on Casey Mize?
I loved him. I think that he is going to build back up. You got to remember that this was his first start in a regular season game since midway through 22. I think he probably got tired and understandable. Just kind of stinks that he leaves that start with a 6.2 ERA. But we're 5 minutes into his return to the major league, so I'm okay.
And at the end of the day, I doubt he cares. Tigers moved to 5-0.
Tigers moved to 5-0, and he got back on a big league mound at a regular season game.
100%. So the top 5 hitters of how should I label this? This is the top 5 hitters since opening day.
The 5 hottest hitters of the first week of Major League Baseball.
Oh, that's great. The 5 hottest hitters of the first week of Major League Baseball brought to you by Outlier.
There you go.
That sounds good. All right, let's go over them. Number 1, who else? Mookie Betts of the Los Angeles Dodgers. 313 WRC plus. 100 is league average. He is 213% better than your league average hitter. Through 9 games, 5 bombs. Striking out at a 9.5% rate. 21% walk rate, slashing 485, 595. He's slugging over 1,000. So yeah, he's going to be your number 1 hottest hitter since opening day. Bobby Witt Jr. comes in at number 2. 281 WRC plus. He's got 2 home runs. He's got 2 steals. Yeah, he's striking out a decent rate. Who cares? Slashing 400, 464, 880. Number 3. Who do you think number 3 is? I'll give you a hint. Catcher, American League.
Yeah, Yainer Diaz. He's been so hot.
He's been so hot. Yainer Diaz, catcher for the Houston Astros, comes in at number 3, walking more than he's striking out. Through 7 games, he is the best hitter on the Astros. And I know Yordan Alvarez just set StatCast records as the first player to put up 4 batted balls over 105 in the same game with 3 balls projected 400 plus. It was the first time ever in the StatCast era since 2015. But nobody's been hotter on the Astros than Yainer Diaz. 2 bombs, but he's slashing 462, 517, 731. Astros, I'm sure you are okay moving off of Martin Maldonado, who has not gotten a hit in 8 straight games. All right, number 4, not biased. Not biased at all, Jack. How about the young kid in New York? in short. His name's
He's
Anthony
amazing
Volpe.
right now.
Anthony Volpe is amazing right now, slashing 409, 500, 682 for a 250 WRC plus. He's already got a home run as well. The at-bats, the maturity, the pitches per
awesome.
plate appearances. He looks fantastic. And at number 5, rounding us out, another catcher. This is a tough one. Who do you think it is? American League again.
AL catcher?
AL catcher. And I'll even give you the division. AL West. Same one as Yainer Diaz.
Okay. Not O'Hoppe.
It is O'Hoppe.
It's O'Hoppe?
Logan O'Hoppe has a 249 WRC plus. Now, he doesn't have a home run yet, but he is slashing 438, 550, 625 with a couple of RBIs and 3 runs scored already. We should probably buy into the Angels soon.
You go ahead. I'm going to opt out of buying into the LA Angels. Can I offer an honorable mention?
Sure.
Welcome to the Bryce Terang show, man. Terang's got an OPS over 1,000, and he's 6 for 6 in the stolen base department in the first week.
Leads Major League Baseball. So, and I also want, this is our first segment from Outlier, hottest hitters. Please let us know in the YouTube comments. Do you want to see hottest pitchers? Do you want to see coldest hitters? Let us know what you want to see from this segment, because Outlier has all the data you need. You just let us know which area we want to attack. So make sure, get Outlier, try the 7-day free trial in the link tree below. And if you don't like it, cancel. My guess is you won't. I use it every day. Jack uses it every day. We all use it every day. Even if you're not a gambler, it visualizes and organizes all the data that you need. Go check that out in the episode description.